Hello everyone, this is Ramesh here and meet my wife Shilpa.
Hi.
And she's my better half for the last 20 years and happy to be so. So in fact it's a great opportunity to be talking on camera here. In fact I've been doing this off camera, offline, talking to a lot of people about our experiences here. I guess the best way to start is actually go back in time, go back by about 3 years I would say. We actually were living in an independent home at that point in time. This happened to be our first apartment. In fact, that's something which we were not sure how it would be in an apartment, and more so our parents actually had no experience about this in the past. So we were, I would say, the first generation people who actually came in to live in an apartment. So it was a little bit of a hard selling that we had to do at home to get our parents to agree to come and stay with us in this apartment. They were losing that independence that they were getting at that time. So you had to make something nice and interesting and in fact appealing to them, much more than an independent home can offer. So we started thinking about what could make this apartment a little more livable, with a lot more life, a lot more warmth, a lot more interesting. And we thought, let's look at some good interior designs that we can at that point in time. And I must say, we had a tough time actually trying to figure out what really we wanted. I think every website that we went, every person that we talked to came up with different ideas. Yes, we heard them all. It was all nice. It was all good. It was all shaping our thoughts on how or what we wanted. But at some point in time, we started thinking, okay, wait, we are actually taking others' inputs, but we really need somebody who can guide us well enough. Others were giving inputs, but the guidance, the direction was not there. And so at that time, we felt we needed somebody who can help us out. So it was quite an interesting experience, as I said, 3 years back, when we actually wanted these ideas about how a house should be. And we walked in with a couple of our friends. When I say friends, they were into the business of interior design and had done a few projects in the past. So at that stage, we came over here, we were actually showing the bare shell, nothing existed here. It was an empty house, and we said, okay, this is like a football ground or playground for you. You come up with an idea, which is something which appeals to us, to my parents, and to everybody else who comes into our house anytime in future. And while these guys were at work, good friends of ours, they were all thinking about what's the best way to do. In fact, it was a bit competitive because both of these guys were running different businesses by themselves. So they were literally trying to come up with the best idea right in front of each other at that stage. And it so happens that when they were in that deep discussions, my wife actually happened to stroll out of the house for a moment. And it was just a coincidence that she actually happened to see a board which said Creative Systems. And this board actually said Creative Systems, and these are the type of projects that we've done. And the pictures were quite interesting because they all talked about how interiors looked at that stage. So that's where it all started back.
I just came here with my brothers and my mom, and suddenly, I just got some 2 interiors along with me. And they were all thinking, this has to be done, that has to be done. And finally what happened, we just stepped out. And my brother happened to see the door opened, and he went inside and he just called me, Cheen, please come inside. And I just went and I happened to see Murali, and so fortunate to see him. And the moment we saw, I think it's a kind of sparkle, suddenly we thought, okay, he's the right person to do our interiors. We blindly believed him, and by seeing, we just told, no, you have to do it. We just gave the key to him, and I think we trust you completely. And in fact, my husband was in Australia at that time. I just called him and told, I think we have given it to Murali. I think he will do the best, and he has done the fantabulous job, and I'm very happy. I'm completely satisfied whatever he has done.
So yeah, she said, it was a bit of a tricky situation that we were in. We had actually got these 2 architects here to look at the place and then decide, suggest on what's the best design to go with. And then we walk out and find Mr. Murali on the other side. The reason it became tough was because these are 2 good friends of ours, and we had to tell them at that stage, I'm sorry, we're not able to go forward, though we brought you here. And it was also tough because we were seeing Murali for the first time, and we had no clue of how this would go. It's a first kind of engagement that we were actually having with Mr. Murali. The first 1 week, a little bit of nervousness. Oh, is it going to go as we actually discussed? Is it going to be different? Is the budget going to overshoot? All of those thoughts kept trickling in every day. But I must say, about a week or 10 days from the time the work started off, we started feeling a little more comfortable. It's like anytime I felt or she felt like she actually wanted to come up with something as an idea, we had the comfort to actually talk to Mr. Murali. He was approachable. Though he had a design in mind, he was open to listening in. He actually said, okay, tell me, how does this fit into this overall scheme of things? So I guess that comfort that we got and Mr. Murali's guidance, idea and the execution actually has brought us this far, 3 years. And I must admit that whatever was set up at that point in time still remains intact, and it's become quite referenceable for us. And at the same time, as I said at the beginning, it's not a home that we just wanted to leave. It's also something which we wanted people to walk in and feel good about it. And so that's something that we still experience today when friends and relatives come in and just spend some quality time here with us, not just feeling like, okay, let's have a chat and move out. It's not that kind. So we're happy and we are quite content with what we've got, and we hope we can continue to look forward to talk like this and give more references to our, about this work to others.